All right, we should be going live here. Yeah, I believe we're officially live, and hopefully Facebook works with us and actually works this time. We've had a few issues in the past, but it looks like it's working. So if you want to help me out as we get some people joining in here, which it usually takes just a little bit. So I think we've got like one person joining in right now. So no, we got four. And it's starting to ramp up. So that's good. If you can hear us, you can see us. Go ahead and go into the comments and let us know that you're watching, and tell us where you're watching from. Curious to see who all is joining us, and I'm really excited to chat today with Christy, who has had some pretty cool stuff happen here. Just really, I mean, I think you actually made a post today about this, about, you know, kind of, and I don't know if you woke up and you saw it and you're like, hey, I'm page one today, or what happened, but tell us about it. Let's kind of just dive right into it. And this is interactive. So if you've got questions as we go along, by the way, just going to say that outright, ask them. What's up, by the way, Anne-Marie, Ashley, Brandon? What's up? Watching from hotel room in Dallas. Awesome. Karen from OKC. Love that you guys are joining us. So Christy, fill us in. What happened?
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. Is that I woke up and logged on to start, you know, my work for the day. I have like pages upon pages of notes from the course and things to do to update. So I logged on to the one app, and it was just amazing to see spot number 3 as the highest one on there.
That is awesome. Awesome. And when we talk about spot number 3, what we're saying is, like, if you go on Google right now, you've got, well, let's talk about the anatomy a little bit. This will be a learning lesson for everybody, I think. So let's go on, and we'll do, let's pull up a screen share here just for the fun of it. Why not? Right. So we've got a Google search. And I think you're doing Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
And not Philadelphia Family Court, but Philadelphia Family Photographer. Much more exciting. Right. So like we come in, and honestly, I haven't like updated my, you know, like I may be caching old results. So I don't even know if yours is going to show on mine just yet, but it does show on like SEO Edge, shows that you're ranking. Mm-hmm. But if we do a search here, I want to talk about the anatomy, because a lot of times people don't understand when we talk about ranking on Google, there's kind of like actually multiple places that you can rank. And I think this will be good for you and I to even highlight this as you're looking to rank more and more. But there's this spot. Okay, so business area, like Google profiles, that's a spot to rank. A lot of people don't realize this, but images is another spot to rank, right? So there's stuff showing up here. When we talk about rankings, typically, though, we're talking about this area. We're talking about like these spots straight down through here. So when we're talking about, you know, if someone is, you know, number 10, that means they're 10th in this line of results. So like right now, you know, we see Anne-Marie here, we see Lucy here, Peerspace, Melissa, and then we see you right here, this is page 1. Which do you, because you're ranking, and this is another kind of lesson for all our viewers. You don't just rank for one keyword, right? I mean, you're ranking for at least how many keywords now?
6.
Awesome. And it may be more than that. That's just the ones you're tracking, yes. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
And I just started like adding pages for other locations. So I'm sure that soon enough they're going to be up there too.
Yes, absolutely. Love it. And to kind of, again, highlight the significance of this, ranking on Google is something that can take people 12 months to do. Right. Mm-hmm. You've accomplished this in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
What would be just one tip, you know, one thing that stuck out to you that you didn't realize this? And of course, you know, for everybody watching, Christy is a Dream Clients member. So you may remember from a few weeks back. Well, I guess it's been about 4 weeks ago, because that's when you joined. We had a sort of a Dream Clients open season, so to speak. Christy joined then. And so she's learned some stuff, right? You knew some SEO stuff beforehand, I believe, right? Like you kind of had already dabbled in SEO.
Yeah.
So
it was nothing quite like, it hasn't gotten me this far and that was, I mean, probably a year I had been working on it.
You've been working on your SEO for a year.
Yeah. If
And then
not
you,
longer, but yeah.
okay, at least a year.
Yes.
And then you were able to achieve first page rankings and then already get a booking. And you still have a
Yeah.
couple of those inquiries, I think, because you've got more inquiries that you're still sort of following up. So you may close
Yep.
more, but you've closed a $1,200 family photography 1 hour session, which I think is great.
Yep.
Because I'm like, you family photographers, you know, if it wasn't for the addiction to the adrenaline rush, I think I'd be a family photographer because I'm like, it's just, it seems very profitable, you know, like it's
Yeah.
1 hour for $1,200. That ain't bad right there. So what's maybe one tip that you might give, you know, as people are listening, what's a tip that you might give?
I think really just finding the keywords that are going to be most beneficial. But not just that. I mean, the things that, like the way that you have taught how to set up the flow of a website, and really kind of finding the brand voice, and those kind of things have been game changing.
Awesome. Okay. So keywords, website flow, and then
Hmm.
it cut out for me for just a second. Was there a
Oh,
third one there? Because I may have missed that.
no, that was it.
Okay, cool.
Those are the two
Awesome.
main. Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm not noticing that I'm not hearing you say this is you're not saying to blog constantly.
Oh, no. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a common one that people, you know, they'll message. I get people, you know, messages from people and they're like, yeah, I really need to get an SEO. I've been like working on it, you know, and I've been blogging 3 times a week and stuff. And I'm just going, I actually had somebody this past week that, yeah, they had reached out to me at one point. I just checked back in and, you know, they were paying an agency $2,000 a month and had reached out to me saying, hey, I'm not getting the results I want. And so I checked back in after a few months as they were coming to the close of their contract. And they just said to me, you know, oh, I think we've got it figured out now. We need to make a lot more content.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I was told too. And it didn't do it.
Yeah. So blog till your fingers bleed is not the solution.
No.
Is that what we're saying here?
Apparently not.
Yes. I agree, but you know, I'm biased, so that's me. But we've got a few questions coming in here. Guillermo was saying, how do I erase the cache? So it depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're using WordPress or something, you're trying to erase your site cache, there's a way to actually empty that. And I won't go too in depth on that now. There's plenty of guides out there. But if you're talking about erasing your cache when you're doing a Google search, really the best thing to do, I mean, you can go through and clear your cookies, for example. There's guides on how to do that all throughout YouTube and stuff. So you can do that. But another thing you can do if you're just trying to see less tailored results, meaning you're trying to see results that are not specific to your, say, IP address, you'll need to actually use a VPN and go incognito. Okay. So a lot of people don't realize that. They think they can just go incognito, but the issue is then actually Google is still pulling information from your IP address. And so you're still getting skewed results to a degree. Now, that being said, if you're trying to track your rankings, really the best tool, in my opinion, which is the correct opinion, of course, is Google Search Console, right? And hey, it is Google, but using that tool to be able to track your keywords is really the best way to go. It's the most accurate. You're going to see data in like an over time frame, as well as being able to see it on particular days. And so I always say the best option is going to be Google Search Console. There's some easier ways like SEO Edge. Some people use Ubersuggest to do it. It's just those tools are not as accurate as Google Search Console. Another question was, do you recommend an on-site blog or separate blog? On-site. I always say on-site. Gone are the days where you needed to have a blog that's totally a separate domain and all that kind of stuff. But part of what we're kind of highlighting here and what Christy was saying is blogs aren't evil, right, Christy? We don't think blogging's evil,
No.
but
No.
it's not the way to actually rank for some of the most valuable keywords. I think that's what you're getting at is, and have you done an SEO like, have you actually done other SEO programs, or you just kind of searched around like on YouTube, or what had you really tried before you started sort of realizing this new, not SEO method?
Yeah. So I know that I like need guidance. I'm not a person who can just go on YouTube and pick things up. So I did do another program, and I don't get me wrong, it did help, but it just didn't get me to where I wanted to be, which is page one.
Yeah.
And especially without having to, I mean, I had some blogs ranking for page one for those keywords, but they never brought in clients because they, their family's searching for them, but then they never convert to anything.
Right.
And I've made new blogs since starting your program. So it's not like, like you said, they're not the devil. They're not so they are helpful, but making them so that they're working with the keywords, like as you put in throughout the course, has been really, really helpful.
Yeah, not blogging to try to say, okay, let's get, just produce a bunch of blogs that we hope people are searching for. And the big thing I think people miss out on, because again, this is a very commonly taught thing. Lots of people come into this world of, what we teach, and they go, oh, I've heard from everybody that I just need to blog. And you blog enough and then you get enough traffic. But what I think a lot of people miss out on is the concept of user intent, which is very near and dear to Google. When someone does a search for, one of the things that I've heard of is, doing this like pediatricians in such and such city or whatever. And, you do these blogs about other things that are sort of unrelated to what you do, but the hope is that they then use you for their photographic needs. Right. And again, I'm not saying that can't bring in some level of converting traffic, but the problem is that itself typically does not help you rank for your city. If you're trying to rank for a specific geographical location, which is, those keywords are high converting because the user intent when someone searches that is they're looking for that. If someone's looking for used cars in, Timbuktu, and I write a blog post on that, they may never hire me as a photographer just because they find that blog. And actually the odds are low that they will. But if I'm ranking for wedding photographer in such and such, or family photographer, boudoir photographer, et cetera, in a geographical area, the odds that they're actually going to hire me are much higher because it is a direct match. So kind of back to what you were saying, highlighting on your point, if we give people a really entrancing experience through the flow, like you mentioned, and they come in and they go, wow, I'm drawn into this material. They may go to a blog post, right? They may go to a blog post. And if they do, hopefully that blog post adds to that experience. But the blogging in volume itself will never make us rank for the high intent keywords that are usually, again, hyper area specific. Again, like X city photographer, X city family photographer, X city wedding or newborn, or, again, enter in your keywords there. So, so was there anything else that you've noticed that as you've kind of like tried over the last, year or so to work on your SEO, that once you like you became a Dream Clients member, was there anything else that kind of stuck out to you that you're like, oh my gosh, I was doing this, but really I need to do this?
I think it really just comes down to the use of the keywords like within the website. Because it was, I kind of had my one keyword on like every page everywhere. And so I had a different page that was, I think, on page 2 of Google, but that's not the page that I wanted people to be on.
Yes.
So then, I had to naming all of every photo on my website after my keyword, and just a lot of things that I feel like wasted a lot of time.
Is that not so really, time consuming?
really need to be done. Maybe it helped, but so yeah, those kind of just really the strategy of using the keywords on the website.
Yes. Okay.
was really, really different than what I had been doing.
Okay. So the actual strategy of how do we use keywords
Yeah.
was very different than what you had been taught up to this point. So, and again, kind of sounds like, again, the emphasis on website flow. Like how do we get people to engage with your website from spot to spot to spot to spot versus, again, oh, well, just let's use keywords in some mystical, magical way and then just blog a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
And I think you said, because I think you said you just started ranking today, page one. And was that correct? It was just today that you noticed it.
Today I noticed the highest one on it was like spots 3 through 6. Prior to that, I was like 9 through 12 for the past week. And I think before that, my homepage was nowhere to be found.
Okay. And so you did at some point, like you mentioned, have another page that was ranking, but it wasn't the page that you wanted to be ranking for that keyword.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I don't know if anybody here listening has ever experienced that. I actually experienced this years ago when I was like just starting to rank stuff on Google. It was like, okay, I want something to rank for this keyword and I'm all excited about it. And then I go and look at my, what's ranking, and it's a totally different page than the one I want ranking for the thing that it should be ranking for.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit frustrating, right? Because you're like, well, what do I do now? And of course, I've found some solutions for that, but that's a big issue that I think that a lot of people don't realize can actually drastically slow down their rankings. Because even if it's the wrong page, let's say it's the wrong page, but there's another competing page. We see this a lot, Christy. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but we see some people that we get into Google Search Console, get in there and you'll look for a keyword and you'll go into pages. And it might show 2, 3, 4, 5 pages all ranking for the same keyword. And what's happening is the lack of clarity is causing Google to have to go in and go, well, I guess we got to try all these pages. Thus drastically slowing down how quickly your website can rank, because now you've got 5 times or whatever the effort that Google has to cycle through in order to actually discover which page should be ranking for what. So I know for you, I remember you actually fell in your rankings when you first joined Dream Clients, right? Because we were fixing that, right? Like that. And I remember you posted that, and I don't know if this is correct, but you seemed kind of excited that you were dropping in your rankings. That was one of your first posts inside the group was like, yay, I'm dropping. And I'm like, not too many people usually post that.
I never thought I would be excited about seeing rankings dropping, but I knew that I needed that page gone. And I needed my homepage to get on there. And it was maybe a week later that was gone. And my homepage was up there, like spot, 14 or something.
Yes. And I know that you mentioned like how I think this is what you said earlier. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying how you're not necessarily excited about the idea of just getting on, say, YouTube and trying to DIY stuff. Now, are you that way about everything, or did you just find it like with SEO, it's stressful?
I think it was mostly with SEO because my entire career has been me learning through books and videos and, and things around the house, honestly. If I need to troubleshoot something, I look it up and I can do it. But for whatever reason, SEO has just been like, I think because there's just so much noise and there's it all kind of, there are different things that are competing, or like everyone's saying you need to blog 1 million times a day in order to do anything. So then it gets overwhelming. So it really is very specific to, I think, SEO for me in that aspect. Yes. I just know I just need some guidance.
Love that. And you're not alone in that, and I don't think that's your fault. I think that the SEO world, because it's not like, if you take a fork and you stick it in a socket, you get a quick result, right?
Yeah.
It may not be the result you want, but we're just going to use that analogy, right? If you're after a new hairdo that was a little bit wild, definitely a good idea. By the way, this is for entertainment purposes only. If anybody comes back and says, Jeff told me to stick a fork in a socket, disclaimer entered here. Okay. Just saying that now. You get an instant result though, right? With SEO, it's not really instant feedback, is it?
No.
I mean, we can look at data, and of course we've introduced you to some cool tools, right? And some things
Yep.
that we can use to read feedback. But even with that, one of the things that I've noticed, and I think this is what you're saying as well, is like how scary would it have been to try to go through trying to unrank the wrong page?
That's why I didn't do it. I knew for the past year that that's not the website, that's not the page that I wanted ranking. But I didn't know what needed to be done because of what I've been taught, and then I'm like, well, something is there. So I don't want to take that away and then not have anything.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of hold on to what you
Yeah.
got, right?
Yeah. So kind
like
of
I got
coming in.
something and I don't want to let it go.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So coming into the program and like knowing and reading through the group and through the course material and just like conversation with you from the beginning, like, okay, I know that this is going to go down and that is okay. And then I know that the other one will come up. And that is what we
Yes.
want.
Yeah.
So just
And having
hang
that
on.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the price of that? What's the price of being able to just know, like, okay, I'm on the right track, even if the things happening right in front of me could look scary, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so that's amazing. We've got a couple other questions coming through here real quick. So question was, there's a 17-year-old website that regularly ranks on page 1. You haven't updated in 12 years because the builder was paper and saliva. I don't know if that's a saying. Like, is that a saying? Like paper and saliva, kind of like, I'm trying to think of another cliche saying now, but I feel like that's maybe a saying that's in a different part of the country that I'm not familiar with. Or was it literally called paper and saliva? Let me know in the comments there. But you said you built a second site that is sometimes ranking. And then the question is, can I build a new site for my killer ranking URL and keep ranking? And sort of, I guess you're saying, can I keep the rankings if I just build a new website and transfer the URL? And the answer is yes. But here's the big kicker. You got to do it right. It's like anything else. If you don't do it right, then it can go bad. So for instance, if you're going to transfer over your site from one platform to another. So for instance, if we were switching from Squarespace to Showit or Wix to Squarespace or whatever you're doing, if you do not transfer everything over both from the back end side as well as the front end side, meaning like if you've got a certain setup on the front end, you want to make sure that you transfer everything over as is. The other thing is you need to make sure you do a domain forward, meaning your old domain, if you were to transfer the domain or get a new domain, then your old one should be forwarding to the new one. So I think that answers your question. You just have to let me know. But yeah, I hear you say it was a weak builder. I'm going to have to add that saying to my books, paper and saliva. Where's that come from? Let me know, because I don't know. Have you heard that one, Christy? Have you heard that saying?
I have not. No, I have not.
That one's a new one to me too. Love it. Awesome. If anybody else has questions, be sure you go ahead and drop them down in here. Let us know. We want to be able to help you as much as we possibly can. But I do, just for our watchers, because I know we have some people that have joined in since we started. So I want to recap a little bit real quick. So what Christy has said is she worked on her SEO for a while, like at least a year, right, Christy?
Yep.
Worked on it, didn't really get the results that she was looking for. She had a page 2 ranking, but it was the wrong page. And so, she had done a program. And of course, like anything, it's like we can learn from stuff, even if it wasn't 100% the solution for us, we can still learn stuff. So there's a lesson real quick I want to highlight. Just because you've tried one thing and it didn't fully get you to your destination, that doesn't mean that you should give up. I've paid for things. I had a particular program that I did. It cost me $5,800. And the owner of the program helped me make I think it was about a $30,000 to $40,000 mistake. So it was a mistake that cost me about $30,000 or $40,000. Okay. I could have just said, well, I'm done with that and never even tried to mess with that again. But instead, what I did, because I looked at it, I was very discouraged. I experienced a lot of discouragement there. Instead, though, I said, okay, well, I have learned some stuff. Now I know not to make that mistake. Now I've got to find the right place that I actually need to be. And I went to the next place. And now I've experienced a lot of good stuff there, right? And so again, it's not even that we need to just say, oh, I'm going to try this one thing, and if it doesn't work, I need to stop it. Well, it might work. The one thing might work, but you should have, and consistently, I see the people that are excelling the most are the people that are going, I'm going to have a lifestyle of learning. I'm going to have a lifestyle of taking my shots. Those are the people that typically end up with the results. And it may not be overnight, but that's the pathway to seeing some massive results in your business. What's up, Alyssa? Good to have you here. Saw you dropping in there. And Kevin, what's up, Kevin Ryan? I'm going the wrong way. You guys said that a while ago. Hold on. Arlene. Oh, Arlene's dropping some knowledge in here too. Awesome. Love it. Okay. So anyhow, so you joined Dream Clients like 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
You dropped the one page that was ranking for it was the wrong page that was ranking. And then you hit the first page of Google for the correct page. You've already gotten, what you said, did you tell me 3 inquiries so far? Or how many inquiries?
It was four.
Okay.
Just this past weekend.
Okay.
Over the weekend.
4 inquiries over the weekend. So far,
today.
you've booked one.
Yes.
And you're still talking to, are you still kind of talking to the other 3?
I'm talking to the other 3, and then I just responded to a 5th one today. So I'll still have that one too.
You got another inquiry today?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So 5 inquiries, 1 closed so far for a 1-hour family session at $1,200. Have you booked $1,200 sessions before?
I have not. Prior to this, I was a minimum of 800. And I have made more than that on a single session, but the minimum was 800. And then honestly, like coming into this program and just seeing the philosophy that you have on creating the flow of a website, it gave me the confidence to push up to where I wanted to be, which is that at the $1,200 minimum, because I'm so on the same page with how the philosophy and the psychology and everything, and it just really it helped give me that confidence that the people who are reaching out, not all of them, not everyone's going to book, but the people who truly connect with the website will pay those prices.
Wow. That's very profound. And I can probably guess there's some people watching now that maybe you don't feel like you have the confidence right now. Okay. And that's okay. That's not wrong. But to maybe help a little bit, I want to ask Christy, I want to ask you this. When you talk about the sort of the psychology, because you mentioned that, when you're talking about the psychology that sort of helped give you the confidence, because we do talk about a lot about the philosophy and psychology of sales inside of Dream Clients, right? That's a lot of what we're actually using to cause the engagement on the site. When you said that, maybe give us a few details. Like, what do you mean by the psychology?
Just first, it always comes back initially to the flow and how, having them kind of really connect on a psychological level with what they're reading on the page and making them feel like, I need this. And so they continue to click to the next one. And then they read that, well, I need to contact, I need to reach out. And then from there, I have, then we can go through the our contact process. But the main part of that is the website and them really connecting with what they're seeing.
Yes. So do you think there's been a fundamental shift in how you view what your website's purpose is?
Yes. So I think before I viewed it as a place to show my work, and if people see my work, then they should book me, right? Like
Right.
that's like I have pretty pictures. They're decent. Like I feel like
Yeah, look at my
then
pretty
you should
pictures. Like, hey,
right.
you like them? Book me. You know, like,
Right. So but then that shift now I know that um to use it as kind of that funnel to really connect with them on a deeper level, making them want more and like feel that need to reach out and to book.
yes. Okay. So when it comes to you like working on your website now, how does that feel different than maybe, how you used to sort of work on your website?
So I feel like now I'm more focused on really creating a cohesive experience, and just with my brand and my voice and more showing who I am and what I do, why I do it, instead of just kind of like, okay, how many pictures can I fit on this page? How many photos, how many slideshows do I need to put in here? So really focusing on those, um, the copy, and still making it obviously look pretty and look on brand, but really trying to get that psychological aspect.
Yes.
ChatGPT has become my best friend.
Oh yeah. Yes. Have you trained it to start talking in your voice yet? Like, have you messed with that any?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's something you should look at. Actually, we're looking at adding some new videos that you'll have access to inside of
Oh,
your
cool.
members portal, that are going to be on like how to actually train it to speak in your voice, so that instead of having to do more work afterwards, it over time actually gets better and better and better at just producing something that sounds exactly like you.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
That
ChatGPT, most people are using it kind of like, oh, please do this thing, and then they take it and they might just tailor it a little bit, right, and then
yeah.
post it. The problem with that is like, especially as more and more people do that, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't really sound, unless you do a lot of after work, it doesn't really
Mhm.
sound like, it sounds kind of like ChatGPT,
Yeah.
right? So either
Yeah.
but it's still time saving because you could still say ChatGPT do this, and then you take it and you make adjustments, and now it sounds like you. That's still time saving. But the next level up is then how do we train it almost as an employee,
Mhm.
so that it just spits out stuff that sounds like really good, and over time that gets better and better and better. So you should see some stuff, inside the members portal about that here, probably in the
Oh,
coming
nice.
next couple of weeks or so. So
Oh, cool.
just some fun preview stuff. That being said, I'm going to check, make sure I didn't miss any comments here, just because I had switched over. And yeah, I think we're good. Let's see, just going through. So if anybody else has any questions, awesome. I might just, ask you, Christy, is there anything else that like you'd like to share? Just, I mean, anything.
I don't think so. I mean, it really just, like I said, the whole program has honestly been so easy for me to work through and like do the fixes. And then just the confidence that it has helped to give me, seeing the success stories, and um, just knowing what I'm working towards, like what every step of the way is for, and why it all pieces together and makes sense. And that's just, it's been huge.
Mm, I love that. Um, okay. Well, with that being said, because there's some people watching, there's a number of people out there that have reached out to me, and, either they've joined the wait list, they're on the Dream Clients wait list, or they've reached out and said, I'm kind of interested in your program. But there's people that, they're kind of in that place where like, they're not sure. They're just not sure. And I'm sure as you were inside of the group and sort of in that same position at one point, like, what would you go back and tell yourself that now that you've sort of experienced this, even just 4 weeks in?
Can I steal Nike's slogan? Just do it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know
like
if there's any copyright infringement there.
I
but
didn't mean
just
it,
do it.
Nike. I
Okay.
didn't mean it.
Okay. Okay.
But,
Did
truly
it feel like
just
it was a scary step for you?
it did. But I had heard so much positivity, um, in the group and even outside of the group in other photographer, pages, people had been recommending your course, and it just kind of felt like the right thing, the right next step that I needed to take. And it's always scary investing in courses, investing in your business, but it just truly felt right. And that sounds really cheesy, but it's what it is.
It felt like destiny. Felt like destiny. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and that's awesome. And we love seeing this. And if anybody is interested to learn more about Dream Clients, the big thing is we've got a wait list. Okay, so I'm going to share a couple links down below if you want to know more about it. Obviously, no pressure, but there's a couple things. There's this wait list that I'll post the direct link for you guys to be able to check that out. So that's there, and then we also have. Let me get the link for this other one. This is actually something I made not too long ago. And I just now realized I should probably share it with you guys in here. I've sent it out in an email. But if you'll give me like, I don't know, I might need about 10 to 15 seconds here. I'm actually going to grab it for you guys. And what it is it's sort of like a preview. So think of it almost as like a demo where I kind of go behind the scenes of what Dream Clients actually is. And again, there's no buy button. Like you can't go in and just buy it, right? Like what we do is we like to talk with people, make sure that it's a good fit, right? There's certain sort of things that we look for because we want to make sure that we are confident that we can help you. Like that's what we're after. And look, if we've had some people, we go, oh my gosh, like, hey, you would be better off if you did this strategy instead of the strategy that we use. And so there's some people who say, hey, you really should go do this instead. So that's one of the reasons why we just don't let people buy it. So I've put the wait list on there. I'm also putting this link to the preview. So it's in there. It'll say something like, Dream Clients Mentorship preview or something like that. Both of those links are in there. If you go to the preview page, it actually will give you an option to go to the wait list as well. So that is about all that we've got for you guys this evening. I hope that you continue coming to these live streams. We try to cover stuff that I think will be very, very helpful for people right where you're at. We're trying to expose the lies that are in the SEO world. We're trying to highlight the truths and give you guys the confidence that you can make progress, right? Like it may not be without saying, hey, I'm going to fully commit to making sure that I don't try to mix strategies, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of people kind of go, well, I'm going to keep doing content, but maybe we've just seen that if someone's committed to a strategy that is hyper inefficient, sometimes it just really, I say sometimes, I shouldn't say that. It doesn't open you up to the other opportunities that you have that might actually get you to where you need to go really fast. Like we've seen time and time again. There's actually a book called 10X is easier than 2X. Okay. So if y'all are looking for some reading and you like sort of business type stuff, 10X is easier than 2X. Is about letting go of 2X things. So 2X energy draining tasks. So 2X would be like, yeah, I'm really trying to increase my business. I'm trying to go from X amount of clients to double that. Instead of doing those 2X things that are draining, you figure out how to 10X. And that's called transformation. So the point is transformation is actually easier than just trying sort of sequential growth. So I don't know if that helps anybody or not, but all that to say, if you've gotten some value out of Christy coming and sharing, please go into the comments and comment value, just to let her know that you appreciate her. I know I sure do, Christy. I appreciate you being willing to jump on here with me and chat for a little bit. Problem. And I had to say, just had to say this out loud. We thought our AC was going to be fixed. So I'm here in my office, like my forehead's getting shiny. Because it iced up today. So the AC guy came out, I thought he was going to fix it. And he opens it up and he goes, you're not going to like this answer. And I go, oh, no. You never want the repair guy to say that,
No, never.
And so he looks at it and he goes, you see all this ice? And I say, yeah. He says, I really can't do anything until all that melts. And I said, okay,
Oh,
so can you like torch it? And he's like, not unless you want to risk damaging it. So he goes, you're just going to have to wait. So it's hot. It's hot, So anyhow, Christy, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
of
I know I'll be
course.
seeing
Thank
you
you.
soon. And if anybody else in here is still watching and you're watching the replay, you deserve extra bonus points. Hit that hashtag replay, and I'm going to send you like some sort of good vibes or something at the very least. Okay, guys, that'll be it for this evening. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next time on Easy SEO Live. Bye for now.